Listeners, beware, you are in for a scare.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to A Nightmare on Fear Street. I'm your spooky host, Zack.
I'm your other spooky host, Ember.
And I'm spooky host number 3, Meg.
The spookiest host.
Ooh, spooky. So this week we read Hide and Go Shriek, a Ghost of Fear Street novel written by R.L.Stine. And what'd you guys think of it?
The one question that I always have about these Ghosts of Fear Street books is, why are they not Goosebumps?
Because they're Ghosts of Fear Street. Also, at this time, they were probably owned by actually the other distribution company. They were Minstrel.
Oh, so it wasn't Scholastic
No, I
doing
think
all of them?
the only reason why R.L. Stine stopped writing Goosebumps books was because his contract expired.
With Scholastic.
Yeah, with Scholastic. And that's why, like, halfway through, it starts switching over to Parachute. That's why they did Goosebumps 2000.
Oh, right.
And then that's also why, like, when you look at, like, the newer covers and stuff, there's only, like, a select few of them. Because I guess maybe there's, like, a rights battle. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Like, I think only 30 of the OG Goosebumps series are still in print.
Yeah, and a lot of them are still owned by Parachute. So, yeah, that's how that happens. But, so this book was written in...
I don't know why. I just like every kid's book, probably because of Harry Potter and Goosebumps, every book for kids that was in the 90s, I automatically assume that they were printed by Scholastic.
That's pretty much
yeah,
it.
Basically. That's actually probably a fair understanding.
And also because Scholastic are the people that do Book Week. Like, they're the ones that come around they come around and they give you the order forms.
Oh, yeah, and they had, like, ours were made out of newspaper, and actually I have a funny story about that. I ordered Goosebumps books in an elementary school, and they never came. For the whole year, I kept asking my teacher.
Man!
So, I was like... It was $20. I begged my mom for them. It's like, nope, not coming here now, little Zacky. And so this book was written in on July 1st, 1995. That's when it was published. And
okay. Now, I have heard that, like, all of the Ghosts of Fear Street books are ghost written. And that the names of the real authors are on the inside covers. I mean, like, it doesn't matter because this feels very R.L.Stine-y anyway.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, I was thinking, like, half of his Goosebumps books. I mean, apparently he's a really fast writer, but I think, like, some of them, like his Choose Your Own Adventure novels and stuff, aren't actually written by him.
Oh, yeah. There are a few that I know for sure have the real names of the ghostwriter on the inside cover.
So, we're going to start talking about our super scary weeks. Who wants to go first?
Well, Zack, how was your spooky week?
It was really spooky. I saw a lot of horrible movies this week, as well as...
Oh, no.
I don't know. I think the one that I remember that just resonated was I watched the new Death Race 2050, and that movie was really bad. Oh my God. Like...
But isn't that movie supposed to be bad?
It's supposed to be really bad, but this was like cranked up to 1 million like digital effects, and it was just like really gross looking. But yeah, you know, the movie was just really bad. I didn't care for it all that much. But I think the most exciting thing, though, is that freaking Godzilla 2 has a really good director. And it's Michael Dougherty. Thank you. And I'm excited for that just because he flips tropes on their head. And also 11 from Stranger Things is going to be one of the main stars. So I'm excited for this. Other than that, the new King Kong poster looks really radical for IMAX, and it's like super like Apocalypse Now, and I don't normally buy posters, but this one I'm gonna have to make an exception for because it looks so good. So Ember, how was your week?
Oh my gosh. So when I first started getting into podcasts pretty like regularly, I liked the No Sleep podcast, and I'm a huge fan of horror podcasts, and it was really great. But, you know, I didn't necessarily particularly like the style of the No Sleep podcast. I kind of got turned off by it, but I still wanted to hear the Reddit No Sleep posts being read and done well. So I discovered this little podcast called Irrational Fears and instantaneously fell in love. The voice, the style that it was done in, I was instantly in love with it.
This is awkward for me, you saying that you don't like the No Sleep podcast, because when did you stop listening to it?
Oh, no, it's not that I don't like the No Sleep podcast. It's I had a particular problem with David Cummings' voice because he bugged the crap out of me.
That's awkward because he's going to be one of Olaf's henchmen in my Miserable Meal adaptation.
That's okay. He's probably perfect for it.
Also, just shameless plug. My boyfriend writes stories for the No Sleep podcast, so if you listen to it for one reason, let that be that reason. Anyway.
Okay. All right. I haven't stopped listening to the No Sleep podcast. I wanted to hear more No Sleep, just not David Cummings.
Sorry, I totally interrupted.
It's okay. No, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm just basically gonna fangirl
about the podcast.
About podcasts, right?
It was a really interesting story, and Ember sent me some amazing texts. So go on, Ember.
Okay. So I discovered this little podcast called Irrational Fears, and I loved it instantaneously. And it just so happens that I started listening to this podcast while on a family vacation in a remote cabin in Colorado in the middle of a snowstorm, which just so happens to be the plot of the first couple of episodes. And I freaked out because I found out via Twitter that Ace Podcast picked up Irrational Fears, and I lost my mind.
Ember, you know he's been following us for a while, right?
Yeah, I know he's been following us for a while, but he's been following Turning Back the Pages. He hasn't been following me personally. He started following me personally, and I was like, oh, what? And then I found out about everything, and so I sent Anthony is the guy who does Irrational Fears, and I sent him. Okay, sure. I texted Zack this entire time, and was hyperventilating.
So I'm gonna just for those listeners right there, I'm gonna read the first couple things she sent me before reading the text. Wait, I gotta scroll up from all these me sending selfies to Ember. Okay, folks, here's the first text she sent me because my phone decided to blow up in the middle of the class. I'm gonna read them as if she's telling them to me. Okay. Zack! He's writing a children's book. Oh my god, he's so cool. I'm dying. Please help me. I'm in the woods.
I ended up having a back and forth Twitter conversation with the guy who does Irrational Fears. And I freaked out on Zack about it, and I texted him and I told him about how excited I was. And he was like, oh, well, this is awkward. I was going to email him and ask him to be on our show. And I was like, oh my god, please let me do it. So eventually it ended up him saying that he would be on our both or one.
We're probably
going
to try to get him for both, but most likely it'll be this podcast because this is probably his bread and butter.
Yeah, he's a super spoopy dude. But so that was my spoopy week. Was I got to interact with one of my favorite podcast people. Meg, what about you? Tell us about your spooky week.
Well, how was my spooky week?
It must have been really scary.
I don't think I did anything.
Really scary. You wanted to forget about it
right now.
Well, tonight I am going to a Rubens concert with my niece. And
what?
Do you guys know a band called the Rubens?
Oh, Rubens concert?
Not a clue.
They must not be big in other countries. They must just be popular here. Yeah, but I'm going to a concert, and what did I do yesterday? I am working on my Miserable Mill adaptation continuously, and also I posted a casting call for some characters in an animated pilot that I'm working on. So if anybody listening to this is an actor, please go to my Twitter, find the link.
What's your Twitter?
At Meg Tuden. That's MEGTUTEN. Oh, I watched a bunch of Goosebumps.
Oh, yeah. What episode did you watch?
I watched Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes.
I love that one.
Calling All Creeps.
I just watched that one last night before going to sleep. I thought the ending was really funny.
Which one? Calling all creeps?
Calling all creeps. If you can't beat them, join them, and just cuts abruptly like, what?
I like that one.
You know, that was actually based off an event that happened at R.L.Stine. Yeah, so like he used to work for the paper at wherever he went to college. It's escaping me right now. But he used to he did like National Lampoon type of newspaper. And so he went to like the school council and put their phone number in, but they switched it on him, so they put it to R.L.Stine's, and they said like single ready to mingle, and people started calling his sister's house. So that's where we got the idea for Calling All Creeps.
Cool.
Any other episodes?
Deep Trouble, which is very, very different to the book, because I think in the book they find a mermaid or something, but in the TV show it's like these people that have eaten plankton that turns them into like fish people.
It kind of reminds me of the weird. I remember seeing that one almost the same time as the weird like live action Pinocchio movie where people turn into fish people.
What?
Yeah, there's a live action Pinocchio movie where like the villain like turns children into fish, and then he becomes like an octopus man at the end. Like he's like very like Cthulhu-esque. And also the like live action Pinocchio part is just horrifying.
Pinocchio was already horrifying.
Yeah, I just think also Pinocchio has been ruined since Billy and Mandy. So.
Oh, yeah.
The only way I can become a real boy is if I eat the flesh of a real boy.
I love Billy and Mandy.
So let's get into this book, guys.
Yeah, let's get into this book.
Who wants to read the back of this book? Because this book is insane.
I might read it in my spooky voice. The ghosts of Fear Street, they'll haunt you forever. Do you believe in ghosts? Don't say no until you take a walk down Fear Street.
Trademark.
Past the woods, where no birds sing. Past the lake, where something lurks beneath the water. Past the cemetery, where everyone is dying to meet you. The cemetery! That's where Randy Clay has been invited for a game of hide and seek with a ghost. If the ghost tags her, Randy will lose more than the game. She'll become the newest ghost on Fear Street.
Bum, bum, bum.
Da, da, da.
So guys, what did you guys think of this freaking cover?
So this book cover is brightly colored, which we've learned is very, very status quo for
90s.
Goosebumps. Dark blue cover with like dark purplish blue violet spikes all around the edge. I'm not even joking. There are spikes everywhere. And in bright pink, it says R.L.Stine's, and then purple, Ghost of Fear Street. And it's a very playful cover because this bright orange and yellow skeleton with real human eyeballs just hanging out in the sockets and a tongue, is wearing this sweet teal baseball cap with the FS for Fear Street right on across the front.
He's kind of doing the Batman a little bit.
Oh, he's doing the Batusi?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. But if this skeleton was actually playing hide and seek, he would be cheating.
Well, I mean, how could you like do that? I feel like it'd be really hard because he's got like bony hands. So
what if he just like takes his eyeballs out?
I mean, I don't even think that's like anatomically correct of your eyeball. I'm pretty sure like his eyeballs are just sinking into his skull right now. Yeah,
well, I mean, anyways, but the cover itself is really great and super 90s because of all the bright colors and stuff. And like we mentioned before, all these books have sort of like a tagline, and Meg already said the tagline, which is "Ready or not, here I come," which isn't super.
It's not really cheesy.
It's better than
it's not super cheesy.
Just kill you.
Kill
you. Oh my god. Well, I mean, I guess because it's Goosebumps and just like
so bad.
Stein, we need you to write the cheesiest tagline. It's like in all his contracts. I'm like, darn it! He just spends the most of his time writing, thinking of that tagline.
You know what? I think the Fear Street covers are even more neon than the Goosebumps covers.
I guess because this is mid 90s. This was distributed in 95, my birthday year. So
stop talking about being younger than me. It makes me feel
that's not even the best
old.
part. There's a reason why I said birthday year.
Oh,
because you weren't even born yet.
No, special.
Because you weren't even born yet.
It was radical time. Don't remember much besides Super Soakers and Sock and Boppers. But, yeah. And moon
I
shoes.
would totally, like, get this cover printed on a t-shirt and, like, wear it to a rave.
I'm pretty sure people already have this printed on a t-shirt and wear it to raves.
It is so, like, the Fear Street covers, if I was gonna, like, come up with a word to describe the Fear Street covers, they are extremely vaporwave. Because they are just so neon that it's almost, like, ironically neon.
Like, I'm surprised this isn't, like, a movement yet. Though, that reminds me, apparently there's going to be rumors that they're making a Fear Street movie.
But it'd be based on, like, the,
it's just going to be a Fear Street movie. It might just be, like, the regular series.
Fear Street movie.
I hope it's Ghost of Fear Street. Because it would just be...
Ghost of Fear Street was almost a TV show. I watched the first half of the pilot. It has absolutely nothing to do with the books, but I swear that exact skeleton is in the opening credits.
Radical cool.
And he's dancing around, and it's like the worst CGI I've ever seen.
I love 90s CGI. Like, my favorite CGI thing was from The Labyrinth when they had the CGI owl in the beginning of the movie. That thing's gorgeously bad.
There's this, I did a motion capture class for uni, and we did like a lesson on the history of motion capture, and one of the first uses of motion capture in entertainment was this, 3D animated music video from like 1992, I want to say, and it's just like a woman singing in front of a microphone, but it's all motion captured, and the style of it looks like Reboot. Like, she's got like blue skin, and her like arm will like go through her head. It'll just like glitch really badly sometimes, and it's just...
Why is this not a meme yet?
I don't know. It should be.
So guys, what did you guys think of the story of this?
This girl called Randy moves to Fear Street.
Right, like a winner, because nobody in these books has a lick of flippin' sense.
I know. Why would you name Okay, I was about to say, why would you name a street Fear Street?
Why would you move to a place called Fear Street?
I was about to say, why would a street be called Fear Street? But then I remembered I saw a picture once of a street, and the street sign said, East Bucket of Blood.
Well, there's also, like, like Bullshit Lane. That exists. So it's like, just... You can name a street whatever you want. You can also name, there's like, isn't there like Disappointment Island?
Yes, and
Anxious
Bay. There's a real street called Struggle Street.
Oh, the struggle is real.
No,
and
I want to live on Struggle Street. The struggle is real.
There's a vet in Sydney that is called Struggletown Veterinary Hospital.
I know there's a town called Sandwich, and they're the Sandwich Police.
Amazing.
The Sandwich Police. There's actually a place in like one of the Dakotas called Sandwich.
Well, it's because Sandwich was like a place name before it was a food, because it's named after the Earl of Sandwich.
Oh, well, then it makes more sense.
Yeah. But you know, the fact that a sandwich is food, it's ruined the name Sandwich.
Yeah, see, that's why it's like I don't want to go on like Bologna Street, or I guess you could change it to Bologna. Bologna Street.
Bologna is a place.
Bologna?
And I think bologna is named after Bologna. Because it's spelled...
It's kind of like with like Buffalo chicken wings, like because they're from Buffalo, New York.
There's so many foods that are named after places. Anyway, Fear Street. She's going to this new school. The Fear Street School.
I think
What's
it's
the name of the town?
Like Shadowville Higher. Shady View. It's called Shady View.
Shady View. Yeah.
Which is also a really shady name for a school.
It's not as bad. It's still not as bad as Dark Falls.
Dark Falls.
Wait, it's Shady. It's Shady Side.
Shady Side.
Yeah.
Not View. Shady Side.
All of these places have just ridiculous place names.
So can we talk about the fact that Randy's sister is named Baby?
Yeah,
and
that's like her nickname. Her actual name is Barbara. It's short for
Barbara.
I know. Well, we'll get to Barbara later. Barbara!
I just kept thinking Barb, so but, I thought like a miniature Barb.
Barb's dead.
Barb is gonna be on Riverdale, so Barb lives. Anyway, so Baby is 7, I think. And also, I think Randy is short for Miranda. So these parents like giving their kids nicknames, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that I noticed in like books from this time / especially Goosebumps and stuff like that. Is that like girls in books are given names that could could be given boys' names. So you could be like Miranda, but people will call you Randy. Or you could be Alex, or you could be Samantha and be called Sam.
You probably didn't have these books in the States, but like there was a book series about a girl who was a spy, and her name was Max. And then like in Goosebumps,
we had Harriet the spy.
Andrea, Andy from the Monster Blood books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's radical names like Zack.
Yeah, I can't take this character seriously sometimes because I just think of Randy from Jeff the Killer.
Oh yeah. I haven't read Jeff the Killer in so long.
I don't know why that's the first Randy that comes to mind.
I think of Randy Marsh from South Park.
Yeah. Guys named Randy are always kind of like doofuses.
But Randy in this isn't really a doofus, so it's
No, because she's a girl. Girls named Randy can be cool. Because they're like cool 90s kids with boy names.
And probably wearing
girls.
like t-shirts.
She probably wears a big t-shirt, leggings as pants, high top sneakers, and a backwards baseball cap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The official uniform of every female character in an R.L.Stine book.
I feel like I think she would be actually wear like a big sweater.
Yes.
Actually, she wears a gray jumper.
That would be like my third answer.
I'm imagining it being like a really big jumper, like one of those ones with like lines on it that everyone's mom used to have back then.
Okay, so she gets to school, right? Her first day of school, and there's like nobody there.
That's weird. Is it like a national holiday or something? I come to school on the wrong day?
Apparently, that national holiday is this random kid, Pete.
Pete's birthday, which is what day, Zach?
June 10th.
June 10th.
Guess what? Hey, Ember, happy birthday to me!
Is your birthday June 10th?
Yeah, it's June 10th.
Zach is Pete, confirmed.
I am going to call you Pete from now on.
Well, then again, everyone used to call me my dad's name, and I never told them what my dad's name was.
Oh.
So I used to be called Eric a lot.
Oh, that's my dad's name.
Huh? Wow. This is a weird connection. Confirmed.
What a
Pete
coincidence!
confirmed.
I don't know anyone named Eric.
Oh, my roommate is named Eric. My dad is named Eric. Yeah, there are a lot of Erics. I know a lot of Erics.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine name.
So yeah.
Why did people call you your dad's name?
Because apparently I don't know. Just because I look like an Eric.
I don't think you do. You don't look like any of the Erics I know.
Well, if you saw me like on the street, what did you think my name would be?
You know what? I would think your name would have been like Gregory or something, actually.
Who names a dog Greg?
Who names your dog Greg? I would not have called you Brian. Okay, so this kid, there's like all these calendars everywhere where this 18 more days until Pete's birthday, and who is this Pete guy?
Seems like a cool dude. He got a really cool birthday.
Yeah, he's got a great birthday because it's your birthday, so you're Pete, obviously.
Hey, you want to play some hide and go seek?
No.
I was gonna say tag, but I'm like looking at the book right now, trying to figure it out.
Wait, what is this game they're playing? It's literally on the cover. It's fine.
Yeah, plot twist. The book is actually about playing tag.
Yeah, no, it's actually red light, green light.
Red Rover.
Can. So then this like kid who's bleeding out his head comes running down the hallway crying for help.
And then the chapter ends.
And then in the next chapter, the teacher comes out and the kid goes away, and you find out that he was just acting in a play.
How convenient. I remember in middle school when we used fake blood.
Yeah, never, ever, at all.
No. Even in college, it's hard. Yeah, even in college, it's really hard to get fake blood.
We did Macbeth at my high school, and we used fake blood. I was the fake blood manager.
Yeah. I like making... How did you make your fake blood?
Caro syrup, red food coloring.
Yep. Cornstarch?
Yes.
I'm gonna like blow you guys' mind. I actually use hair gel.
That's a good one.
Because it isn't as sticky, and it doesn't attract bugs. And it also looks really chunky under light.
But what if you get it in your mouth?
It doesn't taste bad.
I mean, what?
It doesn't taste that bad. It's gonna taste like hair gel.
Okay, but
That sounds gross.
what? That sounds real bad. I would.
That sounds like the worst.
Let's not do that.
Oh, you don't put it all in your you don't put it in your mouth unless I'd literally just use red dye or something. I don't know how. I'd have to figure it out.
Okay, so this is where I can actually like talk with some certainty. So basically, my job, like part of my job, is making sure that certain kinds of blood are used in certain kinds of like various ways. Because, for example, if you are trying to make it look like someone is bleeding, there's a different kind of blood that you use, different kind of fake blood you use, versus blood that's been spilled on the floor, versus blood that's been there for a while, versus blood on clothes, versus blood on here and there. So there's like so many different things that you have to do. And actually, my favorite thing to do is there's a certain kind of ink that we use to make it look like bloodstains on clothes so that the bloodstains don't change and they look like it's kind of dried. It's like this really deep red sepia ink that we use that we get out of Charlotte most of the time. But when we make fake blood for people's mouths, we actually use, it's basically Kool-Aid. I'm not going to lie. It's really
like a reddish
fun.
powder?
Yeah, it's a reddish powder that we mix it with water so that it's not super great, but then it mixes with saliva and there's like a cornstarch base. It's like a thickening agent that makes it look like real blood. It's so much fun. I love working with fake blood. Fake blood's the best.
I've had fights with people who've just wanted to use ketchup, and I'm like, what? I'm like,
why?
I don't. It's college, and people are like, this is how we use blood, and like, no, this is how you use blood. But ketchup's so much easier to get. No, fake blood's actually cheap.
Fake blood's real cheap.
Ketchup does not look like blood.
It doesn't look like blood. The only time I would actually maybe consider using a different thing would be if it's black and white. I would use chocolate syrup.
Yeah, very psycho.
I'm surprised you don't use like beetroot juice for blood coming out of the mouth, because that is extremely like blood looking.
What did you say?
Oh, I forgot. Beet juice.
Oh, beet juice. No, it's too purple.
Really?
Yeah, it is 100% too purple. It shows up on camera as like way too purple.
Huh.
Yeah, because you think
just,
about,
like,
okay, so
if I go to like the supermarket and buy a bottle of beet juice, it looks like blood to me.
Yeah, but it is when it comes out. That's it as a thick state. But like when you start putting it out on camera with lighting, it's gonna change. It's gonna look different on the visual spectrum.
Right, and something that people don't like realize about like working in like television and movies is that the camera lens, like a camera lens for like a regular digital camera, actually picks up red in a different way than our eyes do. So it's really hard to. We have to like basically like white balance in a weird way to make the red look the right color red. Otherwise, it'll end up looking bright really orange. Fake.
That's why like if you watch old movies from the 70s and the blood basically looks like paint.
The blood looks pink.
Yeah, that's the reason.
That's why.
Oh, yeah.
Because when they started switching the color, what is it? Color scope or CinemaScope, whatever.
CinemaScope.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it right. That's the reason why it always looked like paint, was because the color gradient, they couldn't get it right.
Yep.
So, little history lesson for you guys.
Yeah,
welcome
now that we've geeked out about
history
movies.
podcast, where we talk about fake blood.
Oh, see, this is the great thing about this podcast. We could talk about it and get away with it.
Yeah. I mean, it is relevant. So anyway, Randy goes to class and she meets this girl,
Sarah?
You mean Sarah?
You didn't write down her name.
Sarah Lewis.
In the note.
I didn't think she was that
no, first she meets Sarah Lewis, and Sarah Lewis is the one that's nice to her.
Yes.
But then there's the mean one who keeps going, you just wait until Pete's
gets
birthday. Yeah.
You mean Megan?
Who just keeps saying it.
No, not Megan.
No, not her. She's nice.
So Megan and Sarah are the nice ones.
Yes.
Who's the mean one?
Her name is Laura, I want to say.
Yeah, Laura. She's just like, Laura. Pete's gonna get you. You shouldn't go up in the woods.
And then she just like sneaks up behind her in the bathroom and like breathes on her neck and goes, you just
breathes
wait.
on her neck?
It was really weird. It's like, these are children.
Yeah, but it's like, the way this book is written, it almost is very much like Children of the Corn.
It is. All of the kids are weird in this book.
I thought they were actually all ghosts. I thought Pete would have been like the one person that's actually alive. I thought that was a twist.
That would have been such a Goosebumps twist.
Was that
That
Pete,
would have been
he
such
just comes
a
back on
Goosebumps
his
twist.
birthday and he's the only one that's actually alive.
It's funny how like the first book of Goosebumps and the first book of Ghost of Fear Street are both about like a family moving to a new town where there's some kind of like freaky initiation ritual that involves like children dying.
Yeah, so basically what happens is that the reason why everyone's getting so afraid of Pete is that Pete died on his birthday in the woods, and a year after he died, some kids went to go play hide and go seek, and afterwards, one of the kids became weird. He became like, at night he would howl and like eat dead things, and his hair turned white, so he went to a mental asylum. And so every year afterwards, kids started playing hide and go seek because weird things would happen. People would go insane, like explosions.
He like chooses one of them every year to be his flesh vessel.
Yeah, his meat sack.
And then they shrivel up, which is just so disgusting. That's like, he describes them like they find the bodies and the bodies are like shriveled.
Oh, they're like prunes.
Yeah, it's just, that's so nasty.
And they also smell awful too. Like they like,
yeah.
That's how one way you can tell who the person is, because they smell like a rotting corpse.
Yeah.
Which I've yet to have the pleasure of smelling that, but I'm pretty sure that's like one of the foulest smells you could possibly smell.
I reckon it probably smells like how spoiled meat smells.
Ugh.
Okay, that's
Which
a
is
smell
not
I have.
good. It's
I
not a
have
good
smelled,
smell.
and that's pretty
It's
bad. But I would imagine there'd be
awful.
more because there's just a lot more funkiness in the human body.
Funkiness.
There's a lot more fun. Oh yeah, there's like bowels, and then also the gases. And
No, I'm just imagining like funkiness. Like, yeah, the human body is filled with 7 wah-wah guitars and
7 wah-wah guitars.
so the problem with Randy is that Pete likes the new kids. He especially likes the new kids, and he'll always try to go for them. So every year they have to play hide and go seek. It's almost like Thunderdome in a sense.
yeah.
Or that's why I liked Wicker Man more, just because it's like the harvest can go on for another year.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, there's like so many like.
I was actually thinking, I was saying this to Zack before we started recording, but I was thinking of Man, the Most Dangerous Game.
Whoa.
Which is that book where they like throw all of these people out into the woods and then like a guy comes through and shoots them for sport. It's very like in keeping with those sort of like stories, like, you know, like Running Man, Battle Royale,
Yes.
Most Dangerous Game, just anything where like people are being killed for fun.
But I guess in this case, yeah, he's killing them for fun because it's his birthday, and they like bake him a little cake, and then they sing the creepiest version of Happy Birthday.
There is a character in this book whose name is Megan with no H, which is not my name, but let's pretend it is because I want to be a character in Ghost of Fear Street.
So this is what I was thinking about,
Yes.
guys. This could be live reaction. Whenever we get our names actually in the book, we are that character. So
Sounds legit.
sounds like we're gonna. So Megan, how'd you like playing this hide and go seek?
Was pretty worried that Pete was gonna catch me and like take over my body, and then I was gonna shrivel up like a prune and have to eat like worms and stuff.
Mm.
Yep. Well,
But-
luckily he didn't. So
Luckily, he doesn't get it in the end.
is there like an age limit? That's the one problem about like this hide and go seek game. Like after you become so old, it's kind of like, oh, you're like 21 now. You don't have to play hide and go seek. Yay! Or like when you graduate middle
I
school.
think it is just like people that were in the year at school that Pete was in.
Okay.
Like if like say he died when he was like 12, then all the 12-year-olds have to play hide and seek. That's the vibe that I got.
I thought it was just the entire school played it.
It could have been the entire school. I don't know.
Because he had like the creepy gym teacher who was like egging them on about this. Like,
Oh, the gym teacher in this is so like, why? Why is he doing this?
he could have been Pete's father. Actually, no, because
He just wants to go out and
mess with children. He doesn't get
help
paid
the
enough.
children run around in the graveyard and get caught by Pete.
Yeah.
It's like, doesn't he have anything better to do than, like, hang out with kids in the middle of the night?
Nope, not at all.
I kind of liked that they kind of set up that Lucas was going to be Pete.
Yeah, they thought...
I felt like... I don't know. I felt like that was too tropey. It was too obvious.
It is kind of a cop-out that she was like, oh, I saw Lucas. He was
eating worms.
But then it's like, no, I wasn't actually eating worms.
I was
just
fishing
catching them to use for fishing. How do you mistake those things for each other? How do you mistake just like having worms and holding them with like eating them?
Well, I think because he put them close to his face, or like she saw it from very far away at night because he did it at night.
At this point, she'd also like followed him while he was like whistling a funeral march, which she happened to know. Like she knew the words to the song.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She's lost her damn mind.
She's just
and he chose her to be his square dancing partner, which obviously means that he's Pete. Duh.
Oh yeah, actually, I've never done square dancing. I'm pretty sure
Yeehaw! It's actually kind of fun. Don't tell anybody I said that.
It's actually kind of fun.
That sounds like something a ghost would say. Totally off topic, but one of my favorite bits in this book is when she's remembering when she went to her friend Tanya's house, and Tanya's mom cooked octopus, and she cried.
No.
I'm trying to figure out, like, octopus is probably really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so I'm going to read this. I found the page. I'm going to read this off here. Tanya had weird parents. They served us octopus for dinner. When Tanya and I got into bed, I kept thinking about the octopus. I felt sure that the dead octopus's tentacles were going to reach out from under the bed and that they'd drag me, and the octopus ghost would get its revenge by eating me. I started crying. I called my parents and begged them to come and take me home.
See, that's like something that would be on your podcast, Meg. Is it trivial or terrifying?
Yeah, that does. I mean, like, she never specifies how old she was when this happened.
Meg, is this fear trivial or terrifying?
Totally trivial, because the only way that eating octopus can kill you is if you do that special live octopus thing where they wrap it around a stick and you have to swallow it whole real fast.
No, isn't there also the one where you pour salt in something and it just starts, like, wiggling?
Yeah, but it's not alive. It's just wiggling because you pour salt on it.
Oh.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
Oh. It's okay.
Octopuses cannot be brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
But that's just such a funny, like, you're right, that is something that somebody would say on the Trivial Terror podcast of just, like...
An octopus ghost is going to get you?
Yeah, an octopus ghost is going to get me because my friend made me eat octopus. And also, like, every time I read a story where there's a kid who's complaining about having to eat something, most of the time I'm just like, nope, can't relate, because as a kid, I would just eat anything.
I really like octopus. I like squid.
I love
like
octopus.
Calamari is the best.
Yes, I love calamari.
Okay, so I have like a question. Like,
sure.
Well, since we finished, like, well, we haven't really finished the summary, but so at one point, like, Lucas tries to get into their house, right?
Yeah, very home invasion like.
Very home invasion like. She wasn't exactly wrong that Lucas was Pete.
Like, Lucas is, like, sneaking into her house and stuff.
He doesn't sneak into her house. He just, like, literally rattles the door and, like, bangs on the window while she's babysitting her sister.
Yeah, and they're making, like,
super creepy.
Half of this book is just, like, Lucas is Pete, obviously. And then they get into the actual game, which just becomes, like, a freaking, like, Hunger Games ceremony.
Yeah, because, like, there's even a teacher there. Like, what is he doing there?
It's Children of the Corn. Or
it's terrible.
It's Hunger Games, Children of the Corn, Running Man, Thunder. Actually, I think it's more like Thunderdome. Because it's like...
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 Pete leave.
1 Pete leave.
1 Pete leave.
1 Pete leave.
Pete, that just reminds me of that joke. Pete and Repeat went on a sailing boat. Pete fell out. Who was left? And then you're supposed to say repeat, and then I say the thing again.
That's funny.
Repeat. Oh, God.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so they start having, like, the super intense... I just thought it was, like, Hunger Games. Like, when they get out of, like, the cornucopia, and then it's, like, all the kids are just, like, dying.
And they're all fighting for the weapons.
Yeah, they're all fighting for the weapons at the beginning of the movie. I was just thinking of that scene. Where Randy's just, like, booking it, trying to get it away. But then we find out that... It's David who... is Pete.
But we thought David was nice.
Yes, but then he started stinking really bad, and it's like, no. And then, like it was horrifying, because wasn't it like they described, like, his teeth were falling out and stuff? No,
yeah.
Which was like, oh, God. It's kind of like the scene from, like, the SpongeBob movie, where, like, they go to the place with all the bones, and there's a nice lady that gives him ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, let her go. And, like, her eyes, like, pop out, and then her teeth fall out. And it's like, oh, run, SpongeBob.
So we find out that David is actually Pete during this crazy, creepy adventure that the children do every single year. After that, after David has been put in hospital, because he managed to survive his encounter with Pete, Lucas walks Randy home, and it ends up that Pete is now totally in Lucas, which is crazy. And then they get chased by ghost children, which we've seen earlier. We saw the ghost children earlier when Lucas was walking home doing the funeral march thing. But okay, my question is, why the ghosts eventually chased Pete's spirit back into the grave? Why didn't they do this a long time ago?
Exactly.
Maybe because, like,
if
Pete
they could
never,
have done
like,
that,
I don't
why
know.
didn't they?
Maybe, like, Pete had to be, like, in his, like ghost form to do it. Like, if he's in a human body, it's kind of like...
No,
like,
he literally got sucked out of Lucas's body.
No, but he revealed himself to be Pete. It's kind of like, maybe, like, if he doesn't reveal who he is, it's kind of like in hide and go seek, your safe zone. Or like when you play tag. It could be like, that's like the only reason, like, if he doesn't, like, I'm Pete. Oh, he said the words, like Pee-wee's Playhouse. And they, like, they suck Pete out, and they, like, I just thought that was weird, because all the ghost children are really creepy.
Yeah.
I just thought, for some reason, I know this is, like, probably said in America, but I thought them all had, like, British accents. Like,
okay.
What's that movie with all of the creepy kids and they're all blonde and...
Oh, like The Knowing?
Children of the Corn.
No, it's not Children of the
Corn.
Corn.
Are you thinking the Simpsons parody?
I am thinking of a movie called Village of the Damned.
Oh yes, right.
That's what I think I was thinking of, was Village. I was thinking the Simpsons parody with them.
Oh
we
yeah, the
know what
bloodening.
you're thinking.
Yeah, but because of that, I think we always want to have creepy kids to have British accents.
Yeah, so that's what I thought of, or like very soft-spoken, like Victorian-esque American accents,
or like the kids from The Shining, like the "Come play with us, Danny."
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because it's like one kid, like one girl, like, was throwing her head around, and like other ones were just like playing croquet and stuff. It was really weird in this book.
I love that the ghosts are like, "God, stop chasing the humans, Pete. You are a loser."
Yeah, it's like they started like bullying Pete, and I was like, "What? Pete's just a sore loser." Like, what? No wonder he wanted to like be a human person again. All these children are awful.
Yeah, with all the ghost children bullying him. Well, to be fair, Pete probably killed all those ghost children.
That's a possibility.
That's true.
Yes.
I never considered that.
Maybe those are all the children that he took. Okay, that would. Yeah. But then they like throw him in the grave, and do they play with him again? I don't think so.
They just banish him.
He was bad.
They banish him to the Shadow Realm. Got it.
They defeated Pete using the power of a children's
card game. They use the hearts of the cards. I mean, just think of it this way: the world would be a much better place if we settled everything with a children's card game.
Yes, it would. I agree.
So the book ends with Randy and Lucas walking off and proclaiming that they will never play hide and go seek ever again. And Randy lived up to that.
But Lucas didn't.
I was kind of expecting some kind of like last minute twist.
Oh, that now they have to play hopscotch?
Yeah, it's something like that. Or like at the end it's like
they're
Randy's
all
like,
dead.
Little did they know that I was Pete.
See, that would be clever. Actually, I thought that like I'm not gonna call her baby. Barbara was gonna be Pete. I thought that was gonna be the twist. Was that?
What did you guys think of Barbara?
I didn't like her. She was really annoying.
Because she's really annoying, but also very true to 7-year-olds.
Well,
especially when she's like, everybody has to shut up, I'm watching Batman.
Yes.
And when she goes, I love my teacher, I will marry him.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, but I thought it was really funny. I laughed at Led's like, shut up, I'm watching Batman. Like, wait, her name's Barbara.
Maybe that's what. Yeah, I was thinking that like maybe that's why she wants everyone to stop calling her.
She wants to be Batgirl.
Baby, because there's a character in Batman called Barbara.
Yeah, because she gets to be Batgirl, and that's awesome.
And maybe Batgirl's her favorite character.
Well, then she's like, please call me Oracle after a while. So, thoughts on this book, guys? Overall, what'd you guys think of it?
It was good. It was, there was a plethora of characters. Like, we kept getting introduced to all these new characters, like, throughout the entire time. And that was sort of 90s-esque confusing. I was like, who do I need to care about? Why do I give a crap about these kids?
See, that's why, like, when I was making the show notes, I was just like looking through the book. Like, I can't add all of these just because there's too many characters.
Well, yeah, it was kind of like hard to keep track of who was who, because like when David was Pete, I was like, what?
Yeah, that was like me. I was just like, oh. Because you're supposed to care about Luke. I guess because the joke is supposed to be, you're always pointing fingers at Lucas, but it's the person you least expect.
But really, the person that I would have least expected would have been... Like, I was kind of expecting that Laura would be Pete because she was so creepy.
Yeah.
And she was just, like, following Randy around going, Pete's gonna get you. Just reminded me of those kids in Halloween who are like, Boogeyman!
Oogie.
You know? The boogeyman's gonna get you.
Yep.
Yeah, it reminded me of that a little bit.
I thought the book was actually at times when it got to the actual hide and go seek, I thought that's when the book became really actually spooky.
Yeah.
Because
there was a lot of like introducing characters and like just things happening that weren't really important. Like when she goes to the graveyard and she's like, someone's following me, and then she turns around and it's a statue and she's like, haha, it was a statue.
Yep.
Okay, Randy, that's
and
great.
Also the descriptions of this book, like when they started getting into like describing what Pete was doing to people, that was really horrifying.
Yeah.
Though I thought the problem with the book was that some of the parts just dragged on a lot. Like the whole part, like trying to suspect Lucas, like we get it, it's a red herring.
Like I didn't know how much this was going to be like Goosebumps. It's actually like, even though it is kind of Goosebumpsy, it's not. It's like I said, they didn't have the stupid last minute twist.
But you expect
all
from Goosebumps
books. Yeah, you'd expect that in Goosebumps. It's like the ones where they're like, oh yeah, and everyone was an alien the whole time.
Yeah,
which I love those twists. That's what my favorite part of the book is when I start reading. Oh boy, I wonder what the last minute twist is gonna be.
I remember being a kid and reading The Blob That Ate Everyone, and I had to like put the book down because the twist was really weird.
What was the twist in that one?
It was like, okay, it was a double twist. And it was like, I can't wait until we get to this book because I made like a live tweet of this when I read it recently, so I have a lot of opinions on The Blob That Ate Everyone.
Oh, you mean it also has one of the best character names ever, Zachy?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Narcissism Cast. Every time, because there's a lot of Zacks in Goosebumps books.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them. There were also a lot of Hannahs and a lot of Chris's with a K.
Ugh.
Well, what I remember,
like there's a Chris with a K in this book, and then there was one in one of the Night of the Living Dummy books as well.
What I remember from what someone told me once, or I read some article, is that Matt Stine, R.L.Stine's son, would ask kids like, "Hey, you want to be my dad's book?" And he'd get money. He'd ask him for $10. So that's probably the reason.
Yeah, like in The Blob That Ate Everyone. Twist number one is that the typewriter does nothing, and that the real power was within Zack all the time.
Oh, such a 90s trope. Oh my god.
Yeah, the real power was within you. That's twist number one. Twist number two is the whole story that we just read is the blob monster writing a story and reading it to his friends.
That is so meta Inception. I love it.
It was. It's like Twistception. And when I was a kid, I read that second twist, and I just I had to put the book down. I was like, seriously? Did you just do that, R.L.Stine?
Who hurt you, R.L.Stine?
A blob monster.
Yeah, and redheads.
Also, yeah, a blob monster with red hair. Who was a twin. That's who hurt him.
Yep,
so,
twins.
So let's try to tally up some of the tropes that were taking place right now in this book.
Okay, moving.
So, there was an annoying little sister.
Annoying little sister. There was moving.
There was moving.
Yes.
A creepy graveyard right next to the house. I would consider that a trope.
I feel definitely many fake out cliffhanger chapter endings. Like,
yes.
Oh no, he's bleeding out of his head. Never mind, it's makeup. Oh no, someone's following me. It is a statue. Can we just have one chapter that doesn't end on like peril, and then the next chapter be like, nah?
Well, I think that's just R.L.Stine's like thing that he does to keep people.
Yeah, but it gets really tiring. Like, for once, I would love it if like the chapter ended on something totally innocuous, and then in the next chapter, it's like, oh wait, this is gonna kill me.
Every time I think of it, I think of like a music sting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dun, dun. One time, I did the best hide and seek hide ever. I took my jacket off and I put it on a tree.
Nice.
And then I went and I sat on a park bench with my back to everyone else. And so they all went for the jacket on the tree because they thought that was me.
Clever
but it was
girl.
Not. They were bamboozled.
What was that gasp, Ember?
Oh, the bamboozled. She bamboozled somebody. No bamboozle.
Okay, so how we're going to be picking the next book is, for the last week, what we decided to do is we're going to pick either a Goosebumps knockoff, a Give Yourself Goosebumps, or something from the new series. So I have a little piece of paper that's 1 to 4. Who's brave enough to pick?
Ooh.
Does anybody have a dice?
I don't have a four-sided dice. I might have something. Let's see if I have anything in my D&D days. No, I don't have anything with me. I have a 20-sided dice, but that doesn't really work.
I have a 4-sided dice, just not with me. Here, actually, I can roll a 4-sided dice. I have a 4-sided dice. Are we ready?
Yeah,
yes.
Ready?
All right. So, what are the representations 1 through 4?
Do you have to? It's a mystery until you roll.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery until I roll.
I'll tell you guys.
Can I sing that it is a mystery song while she rolls?
Yeah, sure.
Do 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 do
3.
What's
3
Zach?
is a Give Yourself Goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
So you guys want to pick one, or are we going to pick one randomly?
I already have a Give Yourself Goosebumps.
Oh, which one?
And it is Trapped in Batwing Hall.
That's one that I actually have, so...
Good, because I have it also.
Sweet. Meg, do you want to be the page master for this one?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so folks, next week we're going to be reading Trapped in Batwing Hall. I remember this one really well. Do you remember this one?
This was one of the ones that my teacher had in the bookcase in the classroom.
I remember it because it just had a really cool bat on it, and also it had one of the weirdest endings, which I won't spoil, but I remember.
Was it the ice cream
remember
ending?
This one because of the bat on the front.
I also remember all the ones from like Trapped in Werewolf Woods. But so, Ember, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ember English, or on Instagram at Amours Dansant, which is French for dancing bear. Where can they find you, Zach?
They can find me at Suda41, or they can email us at nightmareonfearstreet@gmail.com. They can also find us at every social media place under the name Nightmare on Fear Street.
What about you, Meg? Where can they find you?
People can find me at Meg Chuden on Twitter. That's MEGTUTEN. You can find me on sodasodabanana.tumblr.com, or you can find me on YouTube. Just search Meg Chuden.
Any last advice if you ever were in a hide and seek game with a ghost?
Just get a real good hiding spot and you're good.
Cool. I say just knock a child down and just keep going.
Ghosts can't see you if you don't move.
I highly recommend becoming a ghost yourself if you're going to play hide and seek with a ghost.
Good move. Well, I'm Zack.
I'm Ember.
And I'm Meg.
And stay spooky.